Safe Road Show, which is something that we carry out for the whole of the school year, and this is the first one that we've done this year. So we've got 400 students here it's a cross-community event, students who are in their 6th year or upper 6th from local schools in the Belfast area. And what we do is we tell a story of what happens when a young driver is involved in an incident where he's been speeding and he causes a really serious collision where someone dies. And real people from the emergency services and from the hospital and bereaved families tell the story of what happens to that young man and to the young girl who lost her life.
The statistics will show us that young people, particularly under the age of 25 years old, are more susceptible to being involved in a road traffic collision or an accident, and that's why we have done this today, because that's the target group, the people that we want to target. You know, these are our young people, our next generation of drivers, and we want to ensure that they have all of the information to try and keep themselves safe on the road.
Unfortunately, this is just something that we are doing all too often. Every day, officers from the Road Policing Unit and officers from districts across Northern Ireland in the police service are arriving at scenes where, if we're lucky, there is damage or there is a minor injury, but all too often someone has lost their life or is seriously injured, and that's something we often forget, that there can be people who have life-changing injuries as a result of road traffic collisions. So something that will have an impact on them to the end of their days.
The DOE ran a number of campaigns there around drink driving, and they have also had a number of high-level campaigns around, you know, wearing your seatbelt and other road safety issues, and they are all very visually high-impact advertisements, and I think that they have been shown worldwide that they have an impact. They've been shown across the world as examples of using hard-hitting advertisements to drive home a message. Yes, they are graphic in some instances. Yes, they are difficult to look at and watch in some instances, but I think that they provide the information that is needed to drive home the messages that we're trying to put out here today around road safety.
The statistics in Northern Ireland are broadly similar to what we have in the rest of the UK, and what we're trying to do is just get across to people how serious it is when you get behind the wheel of a car or any other vehicle. You are in charge of a lethal weapon and you could cause death or injury to yourself or someone else, and it's just trying to make people think hard about how they drive to stop that happening.
Why do you think people are still taking the risk?
I suppose people don't think it'll ever happen to them. I think with the advent of the mobile phone and social media in particular, we are dealing with a new challenge for policing in particular, to try and detect people who are using their mobile phone. And young drivers, you know, they've grown up with mobile phones in their pockets to their ears and it's very difficult for them, I think, when they get behind the wheel to learn to ignore it, to not answer it, to wait until it's safe to do so. And what I would say to them, if you really can't resist it, put it in the boot of the car where you can't even get at it until you get out of the vehicle.
Every single day our officers attend road traffic collisions on our roads, and unfortunately this year, the statistics for this year will show an increase compared to last year. So although those ads are hard hitting and our downward trend seems to continue, we need to keep having those hard messages, and we need to keep engaging with the community to really drive home the road safety message. It's when young people become drivers, you know, they don't understand the danger of what they're actually doing. When they're driving a car, it's an extremely dangerous weapon they're using every day on our roads. And that's why we're really reaching out today to the young people, the drivers of tomorrow and the young drivers of today, to really start changing their behaviours. You know, not to drink and drive, pay attention at all times, keep their speed down, and never text or use a mobile phone when they're driving.
As city leaders, we have a responsibility to do all that we can, working with the other agencies, to keep our young citizens safe across the city. You know, they're our next generation of drivers, and whenever they get behind a wheel, if they can take away from this today, you know, some sort of sense around what it means to try and stay safe on our roads, you know, the impact, you see it behind us here with the impact of dangerous driving, or death driving, or joyriding, whatever way you want to term that, across the city. If they can take anything away from that today, and it keeps some of these young people safe on the road, then we've done our job.
Think about your consequences. Think about what happens with that one extra drink. Think about what happens when you text, when you drive. They're the hard-hitting messages we need to keep delivering.
Well, we have 4 key messages that we always give, and they really do stay the same. And it is: wear your seatbelt. That could save your life or save you serious injury. Never ever take drink or drugs when you're getting into a car. Not even one drink, not a drop. It's not worth it. It will impair your judgment. Slow down. Do not speed. And just always pay attention to those around you.